GGTV, and more specifically, welcome back to me sitting at a table talking with my mouth full. Today, I've got something to admit. I actually need to get rid of this in my mouth. It's going to be in there all video otherwise. Always chew your food properly. Okay, so I've got something to admit to. I've been a silly sod, and I bought another watch. And without sounding like a broken record, it is actually another Tudor. And don't click off. Don't click off. You're not bored. This is no ordinary Tudor. So we're going to have a little look at it, and we're also going to have a look at Ollie's Harrods Black Bay that I mentioned in the last video, because I gave a little sneak peek of it and everyone wanted to see more of it. So Ollie has kindly brought it around. He doesn't know, however, I am actually going to steal it off him at some point, but that's for another day. We'll get to that one. It's in there. So the box is actually quite nice on that one. You've won that, mate. Anyway, I bought another Tudor. This is the box. We'll get those Haribo out of the way. We'll do a little unboxing. So, this is the one that I bought, and I literally got this yesterday. Some of you may have guessed what it is by now. I won't have probably put it in the title, so I would have clickbaited it with something or other. So we've got a nice satin finished box. Right, here we go. Inside we have the Tudor Pelagos left hand dive, I believe they call it. So let's get that off there. I actually bought this technically pre-owned, but it still had the stickers on it. Is the serial number visible? No, good. So this is the Tudor left hand dive. It looks similar to the Tudor Black Base that I featured before, but this is Tudor's kind of, oh, upside down, that will happen. This is Tudor's dive watch. So the Black Bays are kind of the more Submariner type vibe, and they've got a 300 meter water resistance, I believe, Ollie.
That is correct, I think.
I was going to say, you've got one, mate, so let's have a look in there. Is that true? 300 metres? Oh, it's written in such a horrible font and colour that I can't even... What is it? It's 200, I believe. I can't even read. I actually need glasses. That's a very serious point. More on that another day. So this has got a water resistance rating of 500 metres. So unlike the Black Bay, it has got a helium release valve on the side, which you'll have seen on the Sea Dwellers that Rolex make, and it's got a proper diving clasp as well. The clasp, I won't bore on about it, but it's what's called a floating clasp, so it's actually really, really clever. It can adjust literally on the move. That is a very, very cool feature, and we'll zoom in on that and do some nicer shots. But you can literally like grow the bracelet by 2 or 3 links, literally on the move, which you can't do really with Rolexes. Actually, you can, can't you? There's something like underneath it where you can like unhook it. But this is a much better design anyway. So Tudor, well done. The case and bracelet are made out of grade 2 titanium, if that means anything to anyone. But what that means in reality is the watch is extremely light and very, very durable. The titanium is extremely strong, and it stands up to abuse very well. And I think the Rolex steel is 904 steel, which also obviously stands up to abuse very well. Again, as I say, Tudor's kind of tool watch. This was made in response kind of to hark back to the divers that they gave in the Navy. They gave them watches. Tudor made them for them. Well, Rolex actually made them for Tudor for French Navy divers in the 60s. And there was a very, very limited run of watches with the crown on the wrong side. I think it's on the right side, but on the wrong side for left-handed divers. So this harks back to that period. I believe there was one that came out in 1961. I read on Google. It's actually really nice. I've got a photo of it on my phone. This is what I would want.
You're really into that one, aren't you?
Mate, I love it. We were fawning over it just before the video started. That's a vibe. Have we got that?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, focus vibes.
Yeah.
So that is what this thing kind of is a tribute to, almost. But the vintage vibes do not stop there. So on this watch, the markers are actually a very nice cream colour, and it's got red text on it, and that is kind of, that's almost reminiscent of kind of red Sea Dwellers.
You done well there?
Yeah, you see what I've done there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
See what I've done? Actually, let's get this guy off as well.
I'm surprised he's still about, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't flipped it. Who knew? So actually, this does put it to shame in the depths stakes. So I could go for a little dip down to 1,200 meters with that, but I could only go for a dip down to 500 meters with that. But it is really worth pointing out the price point on these two watches. They don't really look, one doesn't look more expensive than the other one, really, does it? And they don't feel, this doesn't feel more expensive than this. This, well, I think retail price is what, 3.2, thereabouts?
Yeah.
I've seen them on the market for anywhere between about list price and up to £4,000. And these are on the market for about, what, 11 grand? Brand new?
Yeah, maybe a bit more.
So yeah, there's about, what, like 8 odd grand in it.
Decent value for money. Right.
Very good, mate. Very good. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to film it. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do the video?
What?
You probably know more about this than me, to be fair.
No.
Okay, right. Why has that come off? Go away. Okay, I think that's pretty much all there is to know. I know there's actually some other cool features as well. So the date wheel on this, the little kind of bit where the date comes through, that is what's called a roulette date wheel. So every other day is red, which doesn't sound very cool, but I quite like it because you never really see that. And that's something Rolex used to do many moons ago. The other cool thing about it that Submariners don't do, and I will keep comparing it to the Submariner and Sea Dwellers, the bezel here is like a satin finish, but not only that, it's got luminescent material within it, so all the numbers, everything you see here on the outside of the watch that's cream, glows, and it works really, really well. It glows bright blue, which I think is really nice. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, it's also this version, it got announced about a year ago, this one's got the in-house movement, so the early Pelagos with the black dial, that had the ETA movement that's in the early black bays that I mentioned before. And if you're turning off to all of this and you don't care, then by all means just go and watch some cars revving. There's plenty of that on the channel, but I like this nerdy stuff. So this has got the in-house movement. That means it's got a 70-hour power reserve. It is a very durable, robust movement. No issues reported by anyone, and I love it. It's also got obviously the snowflake hands. I just think it's a cool piece of kit for the money, to be honest. The other thing about this watch as well, when it first came out, everyone said, oh, it's limited edition. Buy it, it's going to go up in value, it's going to double or triple in value. It is a numbered edition, so there are numbers on the back of the watch. This one is actually, it's a very low 100 number. I'm not going to say the actual number of it, because people tend to keep that secret for some reason. So yeah, it's one of the, within the first, say, 120 that's been produced. I believe those numbers are now up to about 2,500, 3,000. So they haven't limited them that much, but I don't see them making that many more of these. And if you go into a dealer asking for one of these, they won't know when they'll be able to get you one. You don't see these ever sitting in windows. Have you seen one, Ollie? You're going to say that you have now?
No.
Loads of them.
I haven't. I honestly haven't.
You honestly haven't?
No.
Or yeah.
No, honestly haven't.
I'm always peering watch windows and I never see these. I occasionally see the bronze black bays, and that's a good buy. You can get one of those at this price. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Oh, you bought one the other day, didn't you? Not going to say where it is now, but... so yeah, if you see one of these in a window, it's not a bad buy just to grab it. If you want one anyway, I mean, don't buy it to make money. It's not a business decision. Let me know in the comments anyway what you think of that. Do you think the price difference, between these two is worthwhile? Let me know if you think Tudor's crap. You might think that. I mean, I've showed it to a couple of people at work and they said, oh, it's a fake Rolex. So that is the response you sometimes get from people. Oh, let's look in the box actually. Before I vanish. In the box, you get a nice rubber strap as well, which is really, really cool. That's something you don't get with Rolex. And with the black bays and these, you get different straps. Black bays, you get a fabric strap. And this one's actually really cool because you get rubber vibes with a nice little Tudor buckle there, titanium as well. And you also get a diver's extension, so you can actually extend how big the strap is for when you're putting it over a wetsuit, because that's what we do on weekends, isn't it, Ollie? We just walk around in wetsuits. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can kind of extend it.
How big is that person's arm?
Well, put on a wetsuit, put it around your thigh, do what you want. Well, it doesn't have to be on a wetsuit, just put it around your neck. Let's try around like that.
Start a new trend.
Yeah. I don't think it'll catch on. I think it'll probably health and safety or something. Anywho, we've bored on about the Pelagos. And if it's not pronounced Pelagos, then I've got it wrong and I don't really care. Let's put that over there. Tudor number 2. This one is not mine. I've had some issues with Harrods, I'll be honest. They've not been playing ball, despite reserving me one. There's been a bit of controversy. So that is a work in progress, and we'll see how that goes. But I've had so many DMs about this watch, so many, and I'm not just hyping up to try and justify why I'm making a video. Genuinely, I've had so many DMs, people saying, oh, is it worth getting one? If you can get one, then well done, because, I mean, I can't get one, and I'm meant to be in the watch world, so they're hen's teeth, these things. There is a rumoured second release, Should probably turn it around so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a rumoured second release of these Harrods Black Bays. Ollie's not too happy about that, are you, mate?
No.
Because it's going to mean yours is common as muck.
Mm.
No, but if there is a second release, I think it's going to be about another 150 watches, and there's only about 100 of these already. So, worldwide, that is a very rare watch. I can't even speak. I need to have a pizza. I'm so hungry. Okay, here we go then. So, this is not just a usual Black Bay with the bezel coated green. Is it, Ollie?
No.
There's a couple of cool touches. I mean, it is mainly just a green Black Bay, which is no bad thing because the Black Bay is sick. But it's the only watch they do in that whole range. That's yeah, I've still got a cough. That's green. There's actually some really nice touches on this watch. So the first things first, you've got green text on the dial. That's not much of a biggie. The second hand as well. That has got a green tip on it as well. Very nice. It's got the gold hands, usual Tudor Black Bay stuff. But a really nice kind of odd touch they've done. They've actually moved feet and meters, the depth rating on the dial, and we'll show you some close-ups of it. They've actually swapped them round to make it more British because this is a Harrods edition. Did you know that, Ollie?
Huh? No.
You bought it?
Yeah.
See, you should give me it because I know this sort of thing.
No.
You ignorant pig. Throw it out the window. You can't have it. But on the back as well, there's like a Harrods logo, but the strap's in it, so... There we go. Ollie, did you change the strap? Was it on a bracelet before when I first saw it?
I changed it.
Okay, so this actually comes with the new in-house movement, which technically is a better movement, even though I trolled it in my first Black Bay video. And it comes with a new riveted strap as well, so it's got that kind of rivets on the side of the strap the ETA early Black Bays don't have. Jury's out. I don't know which one I prefer. You scratched the hell out of that already.
Yeah, that's what to go off.
What have you been doing?
Working.
Working what? Down a mine?
Yeah, it's pretty scratched up, isn't it?
You Burke. You absolute Burke.
That's why I've gone canvas.
But watches are for wearing.
Water.
This kind of steel, you can just refinish that loads and loads of times and it's fine. Case, you probably shouldn't polish unless you absolutely have to. But bracelets, like, yeah, they're fine. You can just get a little refinishing pad. Not that you're going to do that, are you? You're just going to leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But watches are for wearing and fair dues. Like they're not for kind of sticking in a safe. Serious point. I'm not paid by Tudor to say all this. In fact, they'd probably rather I wasn't sitting at a grubby table in someone's house, talking with my mouth full, smearing their watches around on YouTube. If you work for Tudor and you want to pay me for all of this, then fantastic. Please do. But these are watches we've spent our own money on. I'm not paid to say any of it. That's a really important point. Not that I'd probably admit it, even if I was, to be fair. I'd probably try and cover it up. So yeah, get in the comments. Which do you prefer? It's a pretty easy choice for me, to be fair.
Is it?
Yeah, mate. That can go. I love this. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And it's it's interesting to note as well, the price on this. How much was this, Ollie?
2,600.
2,600 quid. So, alright, £2,600 is a lot of money to spend on anything, especially something you just dangle around on your wrist. I get that. But if you put that in context with the Rolex Submariner, a standard Rolex Submariner with with no date is what, $5,500 now?
And 10 years of waiting. Brilliant.
And 10 years of waiting. This is a bad example, you can't get one of these, but the standard Black Bays are kicking around in shop windows, like the new ones, and they're 2,500, 2,600 odd quid, which I think represents very good value. And they've just released a steel and gold version as well, that Mr. Beckham's been seen wearing a lot, and that's got a date function on it as well, and I believe that's around 2,627 as well. So for basically a Rolex design, Rolex quality, with a date function and the same depth rating, give or take, as a Submariner, for $4,000 less, I think it's pretty decent. But if you were to buy a Rolex Submariner at list price, you'd be able to sell it for more money as soon as you bought it, wouldn't you?
You seem to know a lot about that.
No, I've never do such a thing.
Right.
Wicked. Alright, let's go then. I'm going to order a pizza. Thank you so much for watching. If you like Watch Talk, then let me know. If you don't like it, then they only happen every now and again, so just skip them if you don't like watches and don't care. But I'm trying to do something new with the channel. You know, there's loads of car bores out there. There's only a certain amount of times I can wrap my car or going on about exhaust or kind of clickbait, getting a new one. So something new, and I know cars and watches do overlap, so that is why I do these, and I know the views aren't massive, but I don't really care. I actually quite like doing them, despite pretending I'm bored the whole time. Anyway, I've waffled. Thanks so much for watching, subscribe, blah blah blah, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!